It all started in a quiet cafe near the university. Emma sat by the window, her eyes tired from studying English grammar. The rain tapped gently against the glass, and in her notebook, the same sentence appeared again and again. "I have been waiting for you." But no matter how many times she read it, she couldn't make it sound right. Then, a familiar voice broke through the noise of the rain. "Still fighting with the verbs?" She looked up. It was Daniel, the boy she had been secretly admiring for months. He smiled softly. "Maybe the verbs just need a little kindness." She rolled her eyes. "Or maybe I need a break." He laughed. "Then let's make a deal. I'll teach you English, but you teach me patience." That was the beginning of lessons of laughter and of love. But love wasn't easy for them. Daniel's parents didn't approve. They thought Emma wasn't good enough. A girl from another town, studying on scholarship, working late shifts to pay for her books. They wanted Daniel to focus on his future, not on some girl wasting his time. But Daniel didn't care. He and Emma began to meet in secret. Every afternoon, they would sneak out of campus and take an old road leading to a quiet lake, surrounded by pine trees. It became their place, their secret classroom, their escape from the world. There, they learned more than just English. They learned to speak through looks, to listen through silence, and to dream through words. "Someday," Emma said one evening, "I'll speak English so well that your parents will finally respect me." Daniel held her hand. "They'll never understand what we have, but I do." One night, while the sky was full of stars, Daniel whispered, "Let's make a promise. No matter what happens, we'll never stop learning, and we'll never stop loving." Emma smiled. Promise. They sealed that promise with a kiss, quiet, pure, and eternal. But fate had its own plans. A few weeks later, Daniel was accepted for a research trip, an exchange program across the country. He told Emma he'd call her every day. The morning he left, she stood at the station, waving, trying not to cry. He smiled from the window and shouted, "Remember our word for today, Faith." She smiled back, "Faith." That same night, Emma got a call. A trembling voice spoke on the other side. "There's been an accident. A car. Daniel's car." Her heart froze. The phone nearly slipped from her hand. She packed her things immediately, clothes, the English journal they shared, and the small photo they took by the lake. He was miles away, in another city. But she didn't care. She was going to find him. Her journey took days. She traveled by buses, trains, and sometimes walked for hours. At every stop, she had to speak English to strangers, to drivers, to doctors, struggling, failing, and trying again. Each conversation was a battle between her fear and her determination. But every time she felt like giving up, she remembered Daniel's words. "Don't stop learning. Don't stop loving." When she finally reached the hospital, her clothes were soaked from the rain. Her hands trembled as she asked for him. "Daniel Evans, room 204, please." The nurse hesitated. "Family only." But Emma pushed forward. When she reached the hallway, she saw his parents. They turned immediately, eyes cold. "What are you doing here?" his mother demanded. "You have no right to be here. You've caused enough trouble." Emma's voice cracked. "Please, I just want to see him." "You won't," his father said sharply. "You were never part of this family." As they argued, Emma's voice trembled, but her words reached the very edge of the hospital room door. Inside, Daniel, unconscious, pale, barely breathing, heard something, a faint sound, her voice, and then something miraculous happened. The monitor beeped faster. His fingers twitched. The doctors rushed in, shouting for help. He was waking up. No one could believe it. As everyone ran inside, Emma froze in the hallway. Then, through the chaos, Daniel's eyes slowly opened. He looked around, confused until he saw her. "Emma," he whispered, his voice weak but clear. "I love you." The room fell silent. His parents stood in shock. The doctors couldn't explain it, but everyone knew. He woke up because of her. Days passed. Daniel began to recover, slowly but surely, and Emma never left his side. She read to him from their English journal, word by word, page by page. Faith, hope, forever. Sometimes he couldn't speak, but his eyes followed her voice, like he was learning all over again. One afternoon, when the sun filled the room with golden light, she told him everything. "I traveled for days, Daniel. I spoke to people in English, even when I was scared. I got lost, I ran out of money, but I kept going, because you taught me that every word matters." He didn't reply immediately. He just stared at her, eyes full of tears and love. Then he whispered, "You made every word worth learning." He took her hand gently and said, "You are still my favorite word." Then he kissed her softly, gratefully, like it was both a thank you and a beginning. They laughed. They cried. They dreamed again. Weeks later, they returned to their lake, their secret place. The sky was painted in gold. Emma placed the English journal on the grass. She smiled. "Do you remember the last word we wrote?" Daniel nodded. "Faith." She added a new one, writing carefully, "Miracle." They looked at each other, smiling, knowing they had lived one. Because love, like language, is learned through patience, tested through pain, and perfected through faith. The love, like language, lives beyond words. Speaker Stories English.